we spend our time seeking health by trying to prevent or avoid or treat our sickness, rather than by actually trying to cause health to happen, which I find intriguing because we don't use this approach on other animals or plants or any other life form really. If a farmer's trying to grow crops, all he does is give it the best conditions that he possibly can. And they don't ever worry about avoiding or preventing or treating disease. All they do is provide optimum, we call it fix, the forces, influences, conditions, and substances. If you provide the optimum conditions, then it's the default state of all living things to thrive. It's automatic. We will thrive if we get the appropriate conditions.
So what would you say are our appropriate conditions?
On page 10 of my book, I made a list of the 30 primary conditions that are essential, and most people are aware of at least the first 10 or so. We talk about fresh air and pure water and organic, fresh, whole, ripe, raw organic fruits and vegetables, getting sufficient rest and sleep and exercise, and these type of things. I mean, it's nothing hidden, it's nothing unknown, it's nothing anybody would argue with, that we need to have a sense of security and that we need to be comfortable and that things of this sort. But I think what a lot of people don't spend time to consider is that all of the requirements for health are pleasant experiences. They're comfortable experiences. They feel good, and they're designed, not that they're designed to feel good necessarily, but they do feel good inherently. It's part of our makeup. It's pretty straightforward. The conditions that result in health, I don't think that's the point. The point is that when we look at health from a healthy model or from a healthy standpoint, we come to completely different conclusions than when we look at health from more of what's considered a medical model or an alternative medical model. In the medical model, we look at health and we say, well, all those things that are good for you, they're good for you when you're healthy. But when you're sick, in order to get healthy, you have to do something else. And so they might say, for instance, like, avoid drugs. Drugs are really harmful. Don't take drugs. Just say no to drugs, I believe is the common phrase. But drug-free zones, and really discourage the use of drugs in every way possible if you're healthy. But if you're sick, in order to get well, we almost run to take drugs. It's the first line of defense in many ways, and the first thing offered is drugs. Well, wait a minute, I was just told, like, if I'm healthy, drugs will make me sick, but if I'm sick, drugs will make me healthy. And I have to wonder, these drugs must be incredibly intelligent to even be able to tell whether I'm sick or healthy when I consume it, so it knows whether to make me sick or healthy. But this is a major stumbling block for people to consider, that you would actually do the same things to get healthy that you would do to stay healthy. And for the people who don't stumble, they don't stumble over it as a philosophic explanation of health. But when it becomes a practical application, they hurt, or their child is not feeling well, or someone in the family is experiencing ill health, then we run right back again and say, oh, wait a minute, there was that stumbling block, there is it, but now it's me. It's one thing to say, in theory, healthful living results in health, but when you actually have to apply it to yourself and you go, oh, wait a minute, but I've got pain. I don't want to experience pain. What do I do here? I'm looking at the human body as if it's functioning perfectly all the time. We've got millions of years of evolution that went into creating this magnificent being that we call the human being. And if we experience symptoms, those symptoms are the body letting us know that something about those forces, influences, conditions, or substances, something in those 30 odd parameters wasn't or isn't exactly the way it needs to be, and that we need to make modifications there. Not we need to treat the symptoms or suppress the symptoms or try to avoid the symptoms, but simply that we need to modify the way we're living so that our body doesn't need to continue to generate those symptoms. This is a big topic, and yet this is what the parameter of being a healthcare specialist is about. Now, there's